Shakespeare. He's a poet, writer, and actor, born in 1560. Why am I saying this? You likely all know who he is and what he did. Nearly everyone you know will know who he is. You've all probably learnt about him in school, and I bet your parents likely did too. Same with your parents' parents. But why do we know who he is? Because of his works. They live on to this day. His sayings live in our vocabulary, and his techniques are taught to us in school. So we can agree his work is important. But how meaningful is it? Do his plays send a meaningful message that are relevant and valuable to our modern society? Let's look at Romeo and Juliet. It's a story of two star-crossed lovers whose love is thwarted by their conflicting families. Juliet tries to avoid forced marriage by faking her own death, but Romeo, her lover, never finds out. He ends up taking his life after finding her lying supposedly dead in a tomb, only for her to wake up seconds later to see him dead beside her, which she then ends her life. Now, what message is this story betraying? What is it teaching you, the audience member? Well, let's think. Maybe it's telling you that true love can never be broken, or that parents are too restrictive. But I think I know you should be taken out of the story. The dangers of haste in a relationship. Let's reinforce the side. One of the predominant themes in the play is young love. Romeo in the play is obsessed with the idea of love. He lusts and glorifies a girl he fancies called Rosaline, who he describes as the all-seeing sun. Ne'er saw her match since the first world begun, only for this to end once meeting Juliet. He describes it as love at first sight, or maybe he was thinking of something else that wasn't his brain. Juliet, as she also falls in love with the mere sight of Romeo. The couple is so in love that they both agree to the idea of getting married the next day. By the way, Juliet's family are mortal enemies of Romeo's, but instead of thinking realistically about how their relationship and marriage would work, they just brush it away because true love is unbreakable. The next day they get married in secret, do some funky stuff later that night, and then only 2 days later, they both kill themselves. Seems like true love did them wonders. Now let's get back why I said all that. Haste. That one word explains all of that. Just look how hasteful they were and how quickly and decisively they made the decisions without even thinking about the possible consequences. And look what resulted from their haste. Their literal deaths. This story is a warning. An example of two idiots who committed themselves to a relationship with each other so hard and in such a short amount of time that it killed them. And that message is relevant. It's relevant to the modern world. People, usually young, rush into relationships driven by lust. They don't think about the consequences and risks, thinking with their bits instead of their brains. Some people think that the story is a lesson of love, and that's stupid. The story is an example of how you should love, an example of how you shouldn't. Don't hasten with a relationship. Don't rush things. Stop and think. Love doesn't bring out the best in us. It brings out the worst. So, is Romeo and Juliet relevant to a modern society? Yes, as an educational tool and showing the dangers of haste when approaching relationships. Thank you.